Thank you all for being here. We apologize for the delay, but we're super excited to have you. Really quickly, I know we have our businesses, our participants here with us. And participants, if you can just take a moment and drop in the chat, why are you so excited? What about today excites you? Okay, we'd like to hear from you. We'd like the audience to hear why you're so excited. So go ahead, take a moment and drop that in the chat. We are super excited to have you and to hear your pitches.
Okay. First Mutual Black Thunder Accelerator is here. Med Battery says we've been working on this for a while.
Putting in the time. It's time to showcase what you've learned over the 12 weeks.
People say they're excited to learn about the companies.
Yes, yes, yes. We're happy that you guys are excited to learn about the companies.
Script said he's excited to get it in people's hands.
Yes, yes. So some of the business have been working on their businesses for so long and they're just ready to give it to you. They've been working so hard on these businesses. So they're excited that you guys are excited to hear more.
Louise from Up says they've been working on it the past 6 months. So they're excited. Kathy says it's inspiring to see everyone's company.
Yes.
Rashi says they're excited to share cousin tales.
They all have businesses that they're just ready to broadcast to the world. So the fact that you guys are here as supporters to learn more means so much because the businesses again have been working extremely hard to bring you their pitch.
Jamie says today is a significant mile marker in the incredible adventures that are to come for so many of the businesses. So today is a milestone for many.
It's a milestone for many.
We're excited to learn about the businesses and consider their possible involvement.
So as we can see, if you're just check out the chat, you'll see it's a two-way street here. We have businesses who are excited to share their businesses. We have supporters that are here they're excited to hear about how they can assist the businesses in order to move forward. And that's what this is all about. So we appreciate you guys so much for being here, for, dedicating your time, your energy, even being willing to assist already says a lot. And that's what we need as a community. That's how we help small businesses become big businesses. And that's always the goal, right? So super excited, super excited. We'll be getting started very shortly. In the meantime, let's continue to chat. Let's continue to chat in the chat room. It is our priority, Hank. I agree 100% to support one another. I like what you did there, Hank.
Akina says I'm excited to hear about the startups in the cohort.
And we are at cohort 6. That is really exciting for us. That means we've done this 5 times already. This is only our second virtual demo day. And since then, we've improved and we're back and we believe we're in a better space. So we're happy and excited you guys are on this journey with us. Yeah, let's do a quick because our businesses we have businesses some of everywhere. Yes, out of Milwaukee, out of Wisconsin, around the world. So just a quick check-in. Where are you watching from? Go ahead and drop your location. Shout it out where you're from. Madison, Wisconsin in the house. Milwaukee. Oh, you guys are coming. Green Bay. Fort Wayne, Indiana. I can only imagine who that is, right? Poland is in the house. New York. Oh, we have Toronto in the house. We have Iowa in the house. Okay. North Carolina. Yes. Wauwatosa. Chicago, right up the street. Canada. So we're somewhere everywhere. This excites us. This is one of the pluses in this virtual world, that we can bring so many people together during this time. So you have to count the wins too. But we're gonna go ahead. I think we're ready. Are we ready to get started? So again, good afternoon, and thank you guys so much for being present. My name is Steph Crosley. I do serve as the program manager for the Blueprint program, and I'll also serve as your MC on today. On behalf of the entire Blueprint committee, we would love to say thank you. Thank you so much for joining us, for being here. In just a little bit, you'll learn and hear more from our 12 businesses who have been working extremely hard over the 12 weeks, putting in a lot of work to get to this point. But before we get to the pitches, we'd like to share a word with you from one of our catalysts who's been here since day one, Alderwoman Milele Coggs.
Good afternoon. I am Alderwoman Milele A. Coggs, and I have the pleasure and the honor of representing the 6th Aldermanic District. And I hope that each of you today do a wonderful job with your pitches for the Blueprint. I know that as a business owner, there are often times that you're looking for some support. If you only had a little bit more money, if you only had a little bit more tech support, if you only had, more people believing in you and your idea, how far you could take it. And I hope that through this process and through your pitch today, you earn the support that you're looking for. Because the world knows that we need more entrepreneurs. The days of people searching for a job to get are kind of over. It's really the days of us creating jobs for ourselves and for those around us. It is my hope that today you share your vision for your company and where you want to take it into the future, and that you get the support and assistance that you need to do it. I want to say a special thank you to the sponsors for today and the visionaries that helped to create the Blueprint. When I learned of the Blueprint years ago, it was a no-brainer to me to help have the city assist in helping to make the vision of it come alive, and watching all of these cohorts later and seeing the wonderful entrepreneurs that have grown from this process. I am proud to see you all are among those. And I look forward to getting to know your businesses more and to seeing you thrive as a new business. And with that, I would just say good luck, good luck, good luck.
Thank you, Alderwoman Coggs, for those words. Good afternoon. My name is Khalif El-Amin. I'm co-founder of Young Enterprising Society, along with my brother Q El-Amin. Thank you for attending Demo Day for the 6th cohort of the Blueprint Business Accelerator program. Since August of 2018, we have graduated 6 cohorts with up to 60 startups. Upon successful completion of the 12-week cohort, startups are eligible to receive non-diluted grant funding, direct access to a pool of mentors, a host of discounted professional services, in addition to other resources. The COVID-19 pandemic has proved to be a blessing for the Blueprint. We were able to expand our reach worldwide, touching countries such as Gambia, Nigeria, Poland, China, and Venezuela. None of this would be possible without continued support from WEDC, Five Lakes Institute, Northwestern Mutual, MKE Tech Hub, and Mr. and Mrs. English. Special thanks to Empower for coordinating this virtual demo day. Also, huge thanks to Program Manager Steph Crosley, Alderwoman Milele Coggs, all of our mentors, and a very special acknowledgement to lead instructor Samitra Iwanski. And last but not least, I would like to acknowledge the 12 startups that are completing this cohort. They went through an intense 4-day-a-week program that lasted 12 weeks during a global pandemic, and we are extremely excited to continue being a part of their journey. Without further ado, I'll turn it back over to our MC, Steph Crosley.
All right, so we are back, and I guess now it's time to hear some pitches. Now, just give you guys a quick overview of how this will work. The pitches will, the companies will pitch, and then you will have an opportunity to engage and ask questions based on that pitch. So please utilize that chat, stay engaged. Whatever question comes to mind, go ahead and drop it in that chat. First up, we have Wash B&B.
Hi, I'm Daniel Cruz, and I'm the CEO of Wash B&B. Laundry sucks. A universal problem with few automated solutions. Laundry really sucks when you find out your Airbnb side hustle is anything but. When you host people for overnight stays, laundry becomes more than just a problem. It becomes a full-time job, or worse. Imagine washing, drying, and folding all the sheets and towels in your house 3 times per week. Now imagine doing that for multiple properties. It simply does not scale. We call that the old way. So the solution is simple, right? Google your problem, find a company out there that can do all this laundry for you. Think again. Whether you're an Airbnb host, a property manager, or a boutique hotel, you simply don't have access to industrial laundry facilities that specialize in hospitality linens. They don't want your business because you're too small. However, they do have a ton of excess capacity, especially after the pandemic dramatically reduced hotel occupancy. This is where Wash B&B steps in. We can consolidate the excess capacity at the best industrial laundry facilities and provide access to smaller accommodation providers by renting them linens. Speaking of the pandemic, we believe globalization of public health and travel means services that provide peace of mind and trust and cleanliness will be vital long after COVID-19 is eradicated. So Wash B&B, we automate luxury linens for Airbnb hosts, vacation rentals, and hotels. We blend linen rental, logistics, and laundry services into one seamless and simple service tailor-made for an exploding market of new hospitality providers. We eliminate both procurement and laundry while improving guest experience. Wash B&B is the new way. Starting with quality, luxurious, 100% cotton linens optimized for the world's best hotels like the Ritz-Carlton, and a trust in cleanliness has never been more important, and we guarantee our process eliminates dangerous pathogens, require that our customers use fresh linens for each reservation. Time, of course, is valuable, so Wash B&B is convenient, simple, and happens for you with little input after onboarding. Finally, we stand on sustainability. Our process uses 80% less water and energy than typical laundry machines, and we're fighting plastic use by using sustainably sourced, all-natural linens. If our service worked with all the hotels and Airbnbs in the world, we could generate $69 billion a year. We're starting with the US short-term rentals and boutique hotels, though, representing about $2.6 billion. And because we have to start somewhere, we're looking to obtain customers across 10 markets in the next 2 years who are worth $24 million in revenue. We think that's a nice size market, but Wash B&B is a beachhead and designed to be a category creation machine. We've identified distributed hospitality, industrial laundry, and a pivot to the consumer sleep space, all as realistic targets we can start to prepare for as we scale. We're a team of 4. Kat and I have 5 years experience as Airbnb Superhost, and together we welcomed over 6,000 guests to Milwaukee. Our COO and head of growth, Brian, has extensive logistics experience, and our CTO, Nick, has led dev teams at Tesla before joining a recently acquired Y Combinator-backed startup. Wash B&B launched in early 2020 with revenue from day one. In spite of, or sometimes because of the pandemic, we added earlier customers in each of our 3 segments. Now, in 2021, we're optimizing Wash B&B to prioritize B2B accounts and have exciting conversations ongoing with companies that represent over 20,000 units in North America. This is an exciting time to exploit this opportunity. We bootstrapped all of 2020 and worked hard to develop a playbook based on our actual customer feedback. Now is the time to strike. The pandemic strengthened not just our value propositions, but those of our category, culminating in Airbnb's blockbuster IPO just last December. With investment, we can scale quickly across new markets to secure our first mover advantage. We're looking for investors in our seed round, as well as introductions to potential partners on both sides of the marketplace. Thank you very much and look forward to answering your questions.
And Wash B&B. So we have a question for you. How can your business sustain if demand for Airbnbs drastically decreases due to health concerns related to COVID?
Yeah, that's a great question. We actually don't see that even becoming a possibility because Airbnbs have social distancing built into the model. And that's exactly what we saw last year. Throughout the pandemic, Airbnb reservation volume remained strong, even as hotels were forced to close. We do have, because we take the financial risk away from our customers for them having to buy a lot of sheets and everything, we expect to continue to be seen as a trusted partner for all of our Airbnbs and even boutique hotels that are able to stay open because they lose access to the larger laundry providers who usually shut down in the face of the pandemic. That's what we saw at least last year in April and May.
All right, thank you, Daniel. And can you tell us a little bit more about your revenue model?
Yeah, absolutely. So with B2B accounts, it's very contractual. We price by the reservation and not by the pound or by the piece. And then when we shift to hosting more Airbnb individual reservations, it'll be a blend of sort of a recurring revenue model, so subscription based, as well as fee for service. We think that's going to break down to about 40% revenue from subscriptions and about 60% from fee for service. And then contracts with the B2B accounts, we're looking at 12 to 18 month contract horizons, but based on fee per service, based on their volume.
All right. And then one final question for you, Daniel. How much is your customer acquisition cost?
Right now, our customer acquisition cost is very low because we're focusing on B2B. So it's a HubSpot, so a CRM account, a lot of outreach, some cold and a lot of warm connections. When we move into the Airbnb space and we're looking at working with individual Airbnb hosts, we expect to be able to keep that low because we're not going to do a lot of advertising. The Wash B&B problem is very pervasive that we're solving across the industry. It exists everywhere. And so we're expecting a lot of things that are cheap to do, like community building, and outreach through established channels as opposed to paid channels. We think that's going to be really well for us as we're solving a problem.
All right, thank you. And I think we have one more question, if I'm not mistaken. One moment, just pulling it up. Here it is, sorry. Can you tell us more about your revenue model? Is there a monthly or a yearly fee?
When we look at Airbnb hosts, we're going to be a monthly fee, but we'll utilize some of those standard subscription model revenue generators to lock in people for a year by perhaps offering a month or 2 months off if you pay in advance with the year, provide your credit card number to do recurring billings and things like that, to start to secure those longer term relationships and count on that revenue for longer than just a month.
All right. Thank you so much, Daniel.
Thank you. I'll answer some other questions in the chat.
Wait, I think the people, I'm sorry, Daniel, they're sending the questions and I'm being told to ask you this question. So I do have another question for you. This one comes from Derek. Other than cash, what other help or support does Wash B&B need?
Yeah, we're at the point where we're looking at cash is most important because we need to start hiring some people to get some of the work done to do this and also look at new markets. As far as other support ideas, we're looking for introductions to laundry providers, the people that own these big, large-scale laundry facilities across the country. So folks that have expertise in industrial laundry. And then finally, introductions to potential sales targets. Right now, we're targeting boutique hotels and large-scale Airbnb providers or even local ones that have more than 10 units. So anybody that has friends that have these type of companies or host a lot of reservation volume on Airbnb, we're looking for contacts there too.
Somebody asked, what was the ask?
Mm-hmm. All right.
Somebody said, what was his ask?
And the last final question. What is your ask, Daniel? What is your overall ask?
We're really at the point where we have developed our business and our product service in conjunction with our customers for the last year. We have really fantastic ideas. Our financial models and things are ready. It's time to start deploying that and expanding beyond Milwaukee. That requires capital. So our real ask is we need investors in our seed round to get us rolling outside of Milwaukee and make the hires and the strategic acquisitions we can do to make this work at a bigger scale.
All right. Thank you so much, Daniel. While you're home, you guys can go ahead and give Daniel a round of applause. Next up, we have Soulful Juice.
When I say soulful, you say juice. Soulful juice. Soulful juice. I'm Ashley S. Jordan, a community activist and working within the community. I am prepared to provide health and wellness through effort. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Check yourself. Are you dealing with phlegm, any type of mucus, maybe inflammation? Maybe you could even aim to shed a couple of pounds. Wherever you're at in your health journey, we are ready to help and assist you and bring you on a new and healthy lifestyle. We are prepared to provide ginger shots, juices, lemonades, smoothies, and more. We were conceptualized in May of 2020. We deliver to the community and to the consumer for free along with so many other benefits. We've had the opportunity to partnership with Carved in Stone, Milwaukee Repertory Theater, Simone Media and Company, Priority, Milwaukee Chamber Theater, Alice's Garden, and the list goes on. We are providing a beverage that is fruit-based and full of antioxidants and amino acids and so many other great benefits. What sets us apart is that we are using 100% natural juice. No purees, no HPP methods, no additive sugars, just soulful juice, along with our sustainability efforts. Right now, I'm so excited about this. We are prepared to serve primarily in our market size and target demographic, a woman of color, middle age, a mother of 1 to 3 kids, 35 to 50,000 median income. And with those numbers, we're prepared to serve 300,980 women in MKE alone. That's how excited I am. So, of course, we got to talk about the numbers. Since July of 2020, we've been doing farmers markets and a plethora of other events. We have seen a 31.9% rate increase, which means that we will solidify once we solidify our location, we will maximize our profit. That is a small portion of what we will contribute to this $3.2 billion industry, which is the juicing industry. Our strategy for 2021 is first, of course, to solidify a location for Soulful Juice so that we reach our target demographic full time. We also plan to up our communication styles, to continue to partner with nutritionists, health enthusiasts, as well as starting those healthy conversations. So with that being said, if life gives you lemons, make Soulful Juice. Thank you so much for your time today. We're looking forward to getting you started on your health journey, and please contact us in the PowerPoint, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ashley. You know, we always appreciate your energy. So thank you for bringing that to us. So I have a question for you. How critical is having a physical storefront to maintaining your business, especially during COVID?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think really we touched on that, having that solidified location. We did survey our customers. They love the delivery option because it does have that contactless delivery. But once we are able to actually have that solid location, we can have our consumers actually come in. We can catch the people who are essential workers, who are going back to work and really need to grab something, take that ginger shot quick and get to the hospital or get you the grocery store, wherever they are essentially working at. So it's pretty significant and one of our main focuses for 2021.
All right. Thank you, Ash. What makes your juice different or unique from all the other ones in the market? And how do you plan on competing against the big brands?
Also an actress, and so one of my favorite quotes is from The Great Debaters is that there really is no competition, to be honest. Soulful Juice is a brand that stands on its own legs and stands on its own feet. But for those who aren't as faithful in Soulful Juice and haven't tried the products, we touched on that. We don't use any HPP methods, any type of preservatives. We solely believe in the product itself and creating the product straight from the ground, and straight from the fruits and vegetables. So that definitely makes us unique, along with our presentation and our marketing, and that it is made with love, and that we don't plan on adding any sugars to appease the taste buds, but we really want to focus on that health and wellness piece.
All right. Thank you. And then Ash, have you considered incorporating a subscription box service into your business model at all?
Yes, that is something that actually is being presented for the month of February. So we will do subscription baskets, and then we will do subscription bags. So it will be a reusable tote bag that has been designed actually through another partnership, a young lady who designs tote bags as well. So we are continuing that sustainability effort overall. So absolutely, it's coming down the pipeline.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. One last question. I'm sorry, Ash. Have you had any supply chain issues for fresh fruits, or do you use local farmers?
Ooh, great question. Great question. So we're 50 and 50. I'll say that. So we are definitely working. We work with Peach Fruit Market. We also work with Alice's Garden. And there is another farm that is up north that also comes and vends at Alice's Garden. And so we also utilize their fruit as well. No supply chain issues at this current time, but certain fruits do go out of season. For example, peaches. So we do have to take that off of the website during that time period when fruits are not in season.
All right. Thank you so much, Ash and Soulful Juice.
Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. So next up, we have 30i. So remember, everyone, if you have any questions, please stay engaging. Drop those questions right in the chat. Let's hear it for 30i.
Riddle me this. If you had to miss 2 weeks from work because you got COVID, could you afford to? Now tell me, does it bother you on a spiritual level that your work ethic in your business or your career doesn't match your pay or paycheck? Now you're gonna hate me when I tell you this. While we're saving, banks are taking, investing, and then giving us a dividend that doesn't even beat inflation. Meanwhile, banks made $11 billion just in overdraft fees in 2019. What if you could add another stream of income? What if you could have that emergency fund? What if you can get some of this money back from banks? At 30i, my co-founder and I, we know to our core that life sucks super bad when you feel stuck and at a standstill. We help people who feel like they can't get ahead find relief and hope towards a purposeful, more colorful tomorrow by maximizing their saved dollar and average yielding investment dollars to greater potential. The matter of fact is that savings accounts are not compounding enough to beat inflation, and the average yielding investment vehicle is not yielding enough to move forward. Not to mention, banks are taking all of our money. In fact, they're giving us the bare minimum after making crazy returns daily. How about we help getting some of that money back? 30i is an innovative tech company that offers a user-friendly application that trades currencies, commodities, and indexes. It keeps things hands-free so you can watch your money compound and grow. At 30i, we are raising the bar as we push for that feeling of forward progression and financial empowerment. To our 46 million millennial moms and dads with young children who are spinning your wheels in your careers or your business, we see you, we hear you, and we understand that needs are being unmet. We are looking for an investment that will enable us to develop an application beta, hire local talent, software engineer, and a full stack developer to enhance user resources in the marketing campaign to scale quickly. As we like to say at 3OI, no safety net, let's build one. Thanks.
So Kevon, what is your revenue model?
So we would need to partner with the market maker in order to collect rebates and allow margin lending, which would be a service for those who purchase a premium subscription. We would also do a profit share split with our audience.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. And then what does your platform do exactly? Can you just clear that up just a little bit?
So what it does is it trades all classes of all classes of market assets. So currencies, commodities, indexes, it specializes in those three mainly.
All right, awesome. Thank you. So the financial security industry is very regulated. How do you plan on being in compliance with the regulatory framework?
Would you like to chime in on this?
Yeah, I would. Thank you, Kevon. Essentially, we just plan on leveraging our connections in the banking industry so we can be able to ascertain specifically what financial regulations we need to comply with, other than what is the obvious SEC regulations, FINRA, and FDIC regulations.
Awesome. Thank you. And lastly, what is your value proposition?
You can chime in on this one as well if you'd like.
Essentially, we're trying to be the Robin Hood of foreign exchange. We're trying to offer a platform in which we can give our users an ability to create a safety net for their retirement income, their long-term benefits.
Okay. Thank you both very much for those answers. And then my last question, who are your main competitors? How do you take the market share from them?
So our target audience is specifically for, like, it's well defined. We're not looking to take anybody's audience. We have a well-defined audience. However, our competitor will be Robinhood, Acorn, Stash, TD Ameritrade. What differs us from them is the privacy and data security. We've come up with a creative solution in regards to security, where codes can be publicly verifiable and they can't change the codes. So.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Let's hear one more time for 30i. Remember, get as loud as you want to in the comfort of your own home. Next, we'll hear from Med Batteries.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Alexander Hagler, and I'm here with my friend and business partner, Joe Furch, and we're here to tell you about Med Batteries, a medical battery company for the 21st century.
So among healthcare professionals' biggest concerns are time, money, and compliance. Hospitals are leading the way in adapting green technology. Gunderson Health in Western Wisconsin runs their facilities on 100% renewables. Hospitals are reducing waste and ensuring suppliers are properly disposing of that waste. Medical batteries must be safe and disposed of properly. In our product designs, we look to recycle and reuse every component possible, which will allow us to reduce costs and analyze those batteries, saving healthcare facilities time and money.
Our batteries will utilize bioplastic housing, which once recovered can be repurposed for new battery assembly, making our product a more sustainable choice. But we don't want to just sell you batteries. We want to provide a supply cycles management service. So once batteries reach end of life, we will collect them from healthcare facilities and further process them for recovery and recycling, ultimately creating a circular supply chain that will lower costs and foster a more sustainable healthcare system.
So once we begin our recovery services, we can analyze which batteries are being used, how many are being used, gather that data, and predict purchasing habits to effectively meet customer needs and accurately plan our operation. So what's the potential? Our market size is over $90 million, and some hospitals have over a $50,000 annual battery budget, and large clinical engineering firms can spend over $500,000 annually. So our sales and marketing strategies will begin by targeting small to mid-sized local hospitals and clinics to test and sell the full product lifecycle to prove quality and economic feasibility and scale up from there. So how have we done so far? Well, we're pulling in about $12,000 a month in revenue, and we'll be first to market with 3 aftermarket batteries, of which thousands of units will be coming off of warranty from the original equipment manufacturer. So we can be successful in selling batteries, but when we launch, we want to be able to launch our ideal product, the battery and the recovery services. So having the sales and also having the hospital's actual usage data is not just thinking green, but also gold.
Now, what do we need to grow and ensure success? We will need to acquire key capital assets and services. We need operational equipment, ERP and CRM services, and web development. In addition, we're seeking market connections for potential customer connections.
So I'll be overseeing the sales and marketing efforts. My talent is not at making PowerPoints, but establishing partnerships. I've been successful in several sales management roles in multiple industries. Alexander keeps us green and in compliance, and in his spare time, he's planning our operations and investing his time in researching alternative materials and recycling efforts with tons of experience in project and program management. And most importantly, Victor Medina, our engineer that is rethinking the way batteries are designed. As a biomedical engineer with a background in electrical engineering, is leading our design and quality as we work towards ISO certification.
We're confident we can be successful, but with your help, we can reach our goals faster. Join Med Batteries in being a greener and leaner battery company for the healthcare facilities. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Med Batteries. We appreciate it. And just as an FYI, really quickly, if you have or if you are asking any questions, make sure you send those questions to all panelists and attendees so we can make sure that we are asking your questions to our wonderful panelists. But Med Batteries, what is your value proposition?
Well, our value proposition to hospitals is the fact that we can manufacture aftermarket batteries that are quality and compliant, which add money to, saving costs from the OEM manufactured battery. Our secondary value proposition is the recycling services that we offer, which we will come to take the batteries that we, sold to medical facilities, be able to let them know how much is being recycled, how much is being disposed. And we also can identify which batteries are being used, because battery cycle management is a big problem in healthcare. So that is the problems that we are trying to solve.
Awesome. Thank you. What is your typical sales cycle?
So a sales cycle is really dependent upon reusage. A battery can go between 6 months all the way up to 5 years. So it really depends on the product. But typically we sell, we're doing about $12,000 a month right now. And we're selling hundreds of different types of batteries to multiple different customers.
Okay. Thank you. What are your revenue projections?
That can be between 3 to 5 million once we get fully up and running. We are doing 12,000 a month, and we're doing it without a website. We're doing it just solely off of organic demand and how we've naturally grown. So we can do up to 3 to 5 million once we start manufacturing our own batteries, and also be able to have partnerships with different distributors.
Absolutely. And then how do you deal with rising commodity cost?
Well, so that's exactly what we want to address with the recycling portion of the business. So being able to take the housing that the batteries are assembled in and be able to repurpose that. And we're able to do that utilizing 3D technology so that we're not constantly consuming single-use plastics and then sending them to the landfill. Ultimately, that will reduce our costs for inputs.
Awesome. Two more questions for you. Do you provide an inventory tracking service to hospitals as part of your service?
Not at the moment, but that's what we want to grow into. So if we can be able to recycle and sell that full product, that is a part of the package and part of our value proposition, honestly, because that data, once we come in, we can start being able to sort through that and tell the hospitals, okay, you're using 10,000 of these batteries a month. You're throwing away about 2,000 pounds worth of alkaline batteries a month. So we can, help them manage that inventory that way.
Awesome. Thank you. And then another question is, how can we connect with Med Batteries?
Joe at medbatteries.com, Alex at medbatteries.com. We can provide contact information in the chat. And we would love to take any further questions as far as technical market and be able to dive a little bit deeper into it, because it's not in the consumer market. We're completely business to business healthcare. So it is slightly more complex in that sense, but we hope to answer any questions available to you guys.
Yes. So I have another question for you too, since you're available. One more. What's your strategy for scaling and acquiring more customers faster?
So through organic marketing, through our website, honestly, we just need to let people know that we are out there and that we have a website that is currently under development, but it should be finalized within the next month or two. And it's the most robust battery dictionary for biomedical professionals. So we'll have over 10,000 different, SKUs, numbers, all that, and be able to just solve one of the problems that is time when biomedical professionals are looking for batteries online.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. And then what specifically are the batteries used for?
Yeah, the batteries are used for a variety of uses in the hospital setting, mainly things like patient diagnostic monitors, ventilators, incubators, and we're looking to supply a diversity of batteries, even the alkaline batteries that can go simply in a remote or any type of single-use battery that a lot of times aren't as recycled they should be. So we're looking at any type of power solution in the medical field. We want to be able to supply that, but mainly to start off with, it'd be those main biomedical devices like the patient diagnostic monitors, ventilators, and etc.
Yes, thank you. Thank you guys for answering all of those questions. We truly appreciate it. Let's hear one more time for Med Batteries.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, next up we have Travatar. And remember, whatever questions you have, send them to all panelists and attendees.
Hello. Nowadays, in the internet, there are two types of bots, good bots and bad bots. Good bots are indexing websites, they perform online transactions, or they interact with customers. So what about bad bots? They are clicking on ads, they are stealing content and data, they are responsible for malicious links, financial malware, account takeover, and many more threats. On every $1,000 of marketing spends because of ad fraud, companies are losing between $30 and $200. Bots mess up analytics, so companies are making strategy decisions based on fake data. So here we are with our solution, Website Protection Against Fraud and Bots. We analyze over 200 users' data like behavior, clicks, and fingerprinting, and we can identify good bots, bad bots, and real users. Everything is possible because we integrated our solution with many other data sources, and we're gonna use machine learning. Our solution is based on three areas: ad fraud prevention to eliminate marketing budget waste, website security to protect website against cyber attacks and threats, data analysis diagnostic tools to increase revenues. The market is growing right now, is very dynamically, and the value is $23 billion, and it will double in the next couple of years. So on one side, we have problems with fraud, but on the other side, there is a privacy issue. So because of that, it will be much harder with time to identify bots and real users. So this is not only a question if companies should just want to use a solution like Travatar, but sooner or later, they will need to use a solution like Travatar. Competitors exist, but this market is on very early stage. There is no leader yet, and less than one company in 10 is doing anything to protect website against fraud. We are linking cybersecurity and data analysis. We are analyzing the quality of traffic and providing pure data. Our architecture is super scalable, and this is amazing. I never seen something like that before. And because of that, we will offer our solution for small companies in freemium model. And this is our go-to-market strategy. Because of freemium model, we will focus on building scale and collecting data. And this is how we want to create first the centralized threat registry and become a leader. Our target group is e-commerce, marketing agencies, and financial institutions. My name is Jakub Kisiel, and together with Marcin Snera, we are co-founders of Travatar. We are working on our solution over 8 months already. We create MVP. We have pilot customers, e-commerce, marketing agencies, and even we start talking with banks. So far, we receive very positive feedback, which is amazing. And now we are looking for business angels and investors. Thank you very much for your attention.
All right. Thank you, Jakub. We appreciated hearing more about Travatar. So you mentioned it is a small industry with no leader. What can set you apart as a dominant leader?
Oh, sorry. I hope you can hear me now. First of all, we create incredible architecture, and we can offer our solution in a freemium model for small businesses. And this is how we want to grow. So we want to focus on building scale and collecting data, because we believe that this is the best way to have enough threat sources to help other companies to protect websites. So this is the first thing, freemium model. Other thing that we also working on amazing features, which will be very easy to install. So we believe that our solution will be so easy to install, like Google Analytics, you can say, and many companies will use it. Less than 1 company in 10 is doing anything to protect website, and this market is growing really dynamically. So we see there is a huge potential for a solution like Travatar.
Awesome. Thank you. How is your business positioned to respond to changes in international privacy laws?
Yes, this is very good question. Thank you. Because there is a privacy issue. People don't want to share data. So our solution works exactly like Google Analytics or Hotjar, we can say. So we need to use our script and just put it in the code. And of course, users will have to accept permission to share data, but every website owner will have special panel to select what kind of data they wanna register, and we will not register any personal data like names, surnames, nothing like that, just behavior, because we need to protect websites and we need to check how people behave, but there won't be any private data registered at all.
Yes. Okay. So if I own a direct to consumer web store, what is the process to implement your service?
Okay, so there's just a JavaScript code, so we need to just put this code into the code, but we will work also on plugins, like if somebody have WordPress, for example, so it will be very easy to install, and after registration in our platform, there will be special code, so it will be very easy to just copy and pass it. And also we can use, for example, Google Tag Manager to integrate our solution with that, so it's super easy.
All right. Thank you so much, Jakub. Thank you for sharing and giving us a little bit more insight into Travatar. Let's hear it one more time.
Thank you.
Next up, we have I2J.
My name is Jamie the Elder, and I'm one of the J's in I2J Group, and we're the startup acquiring the market. We buy businesses, grow jobs, and build communities through acquisition entrepreneurship. And we've identified 2 problems in the marketplace. Number 1, startup businesses fail at a very high rate. And number 2, there are more businesses for sale than there are buyers. And I've experienced this pain firsthand as a minority entrepreneur. I tried to buy my first company when I was 21 years old, and I experienced significant cash burn trying to find my marketplace to survive. When I could have bought a business that had significant cash flows, and that would have helped me profit very well. You also see the same thing with senior age sellers who risk losing their life, work, and legacy when they sell to the wrong buyers. This can result in significant job loss, business relocation and downsizing, and which has a great impact on the local community. So our solution of acquisition entrepreneurship, we're looking to acquire companies, hire operational managers to run them, and then also collect the reinvested dividends through a variety of deal structures that will help us be successful. And through our approach, we're not looking for specific industries. We're looking for successful businesses that are over 5 years old, that are growth platforms across 17 different regions. And our year one, we're looking for companies that are earning revenue between $500,000 to $2 million that can put $100,000 to $400,000 in discretionary earnings back in our pocket. By year 5, we hope to grow to $10 million to $20 million in revenue targets, and that will put $2 million to $4 million back in our pockets. And the market opportunity is substantial. Right now, baby boomers own half of the privately held businesses with employees. And we believe within the United States, based on our criteria, that's 172,000 companies that can fit within our profile. And within our target regions, that's 75,000 companies. And based on what we heard so far from investors and sellers, our secret sauce is our team, in which we possess the talent, time, network, and shared servitude to make the strategy work. Eisen McCoy focus on strategy development. Myself, I focus on organizational development and leadership, and John McKill focus on operational improvement and with an emphasis on the Asian markets. So since August 2020, when we first launched, we made tremendous amount of progress. 300 businesses prospected. We have 2 LOIs already submitted for companies to acquire, and we've also interviewed 8 potential angel investors, with 1 tentatively approved. And our ask today is definitely deal flow and referrals, because we're always looking to build our pipeline, and additional business search capital so we can continue identifying opportunities. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, I2J. And just a reminder for everyone watching, please submit all questions to all panelists and attendees. So Jamie, how long will your operational manager work with an acquired business?
The operational manager would essentially serve as the president or CEO. So they would be with the business throughout the duration of whether their contract or their agreement to stay on leading the company.
Thank you. And how will you measure success?
One thing we're looking at to measure success is by growth of the company. So as we're buying companies, we're looking at discretionary earnings as the valuation. So if we buy a company that's 3x discretionary earnings, we hope to grow it to 5x, 8x, 10x. So number one, we want to make sure we can get additional dividends from the profits of the company. And then number 2, whether it's 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, as we seek to sell it, we want to sell it at a greater amount than what we bought it for.
Absolutely, absolutely. How do you plan on sourcing deals and competing against well-funded PE companies?
I'll let John handle that question.
Thanks, Jamie. So we've been sourcing deals already, and we've found dozens, hundreds, literally hundreds of companies for sale across the country, and that hasn't been a really big issue. We also have a significant network of individuals who have expressed interest in investing in our future acquisitions. So we're not too concerned with PE companies. There is such a significant amount of deal flow that we're not too concerned about that competition.
All right, thank you. And then the last question is, are you targeting any specific industries or markets currently?
I can let Isaac handle that question.
So at this time, we're industry agnostic. And so with that, we're really looking at more of the profitability of the company, as well as the growth strategy of the company. And so that's our primary goal, is looking at the ability to grow, as Jamie mentioned earlier, and once again, the profitability of the company as we're looking at it. And so we're industry agnostic right now.
All right. Thank you all very much. Teamwork makes the dream work. Loved how you tag team that. So thank you. Let's hear it one more time for I2J. And I do want to apologize if we do not get to your questions. Please note that the businesses participants, they have released their contact information in the chat. So if you wanted to follow up with them, know that you do have that opportunity to do so. Next up, we have Small Neighborhood.
Hi everyone, I'm here to talk about Small Neighborhood, Milwaukee's local restaurant and online ordering platform. I'm the co-founder and CEO, Jordan Tien, and the problem I'm going to introduce is food delivery apps. They charge way too much money. I have a statement from Chicago Pizza Boss. In March, they received $1,000 in orders, but they only received $376 after all the fees from Grubhub. That's 64% paid in commission fees from Grubhub. An average restaurant pays over $2,000 in commission fees to online ordering platforms every month. And 70% of those orders are from users searching directly online for that restaurant. I'm here to help the restaurants get back that 70%. So the competitive landscape, there's a lot of players. It's a $50 billion industry, and there's a ton of different food platforms and ordering solutions. But still, 50% of restaurants do not have their own website with online ordering. Might be because it's too much upfront investment, tech know-how, or the commissions are too high. So what Small Neighborhood does is we create websites at no upfront cost to the restaurant and no commission fees paid by the restaurant. We create a website and mobile online ordering menu and have a two-sided marketplace where users can just go to smallneighborhood.com and find restaurants that they want to order from and order directly from them. We launched at the end of September, and currently we have 15 partner businesses and 3,500 users using the platform. We were featured on local and national news, and we have partnerships with various organizations such as Milwaukee Bids and community organizations such as MK Black and Project Onyx. We have future plans to create white label platforms for specific geographic and demographic areas, such as our partnership with MK Black and urbaneatsmk.com. We want to increase the number of restaurants on the platform and offer other services such as delivery for our businesses. We're asking to network with new organizations or businesses who can help introduce us to more restaurants or make other partnerships, mentorship in how to grow app platforms, and to find investors that want to support the social cause and save our local restaurants. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Jordan. We loved hearing a little bit more about Small Neighborhood. How can your service compete with the Wix or Squarespace if they start to campaign specifically aimed at small food businesses? Jordan, and I'm sorry, we're not able to hear you.
Hello?
Maybe
Hello?
your mic isn't
Hi.
working.
Does that work now?
Oh, yes, we can hear you
Okay,
now.
perfect.
Awesome.
Hi, everyone. Okay, so WordPress, Wix, those website builders, they always existed, but restaurant owners aren't the most tech-savvy people. We are targeting the restaurant owners who don't have the tech know-how to build their own website. So it's like a different subset.
Awesome. Thank you. How do you make money without charging the restaurants?
Yeah, we add on a service fee. So if you ever ordered from Uber Eats or something like that, they usually add a service fee that's like 15% maybe from the user side. So we charge a fee to the user side. It's 5% up to 99 cents.
Awesome. Thank you. Are you focusing, or do you have a particular region or city that you're focused on?
Yeah, right now we're focused on Milwaukee just because we can give better support and get feedback. more quickly, and we're able to help people one-on-one too, and directly.
Right.
Yeah.
You're so quick with your responses, Jordan. I love it. If your value proposition is charging less fees, then how do you make money? Grubhub is publicly traded and is operated at a loss.
Yeah, so we don't have delivery. We're more to build the online ordering for pickup, or if the restaurant uses their own delivery service. So we make money from the customer service fees. And we don't do that much advertising because we are the primary website for the restaurant's own customers. The restaurant will try to look for them on Google, and then that's where our users will come from the restaurant's own customer base. We also can make money from payment processing, upselling hardware, and doing more advanced website design.
All right. Thank you. Then my last question for you, Jordan, is can you tell us more about, I guess it isn't a question, but can you tell us more about your two-sided marketing platform?
Yeah, so smallneighborhood.com, it lists by geolocation restaurants around you. And so customers would go there, make an account, and can search and order from there. Then the restaurants would get the order on a tablet. We also, with the restaurants, we make deals with them. So they will allow us to list on there, and we build a website for them for free. The free website is the small neighborhood listing. And if they pay money, then they can get a custom website developed and have ordering from their own website.
All right. And just a follow-up question from a previous question is, who delivers the food?
Yeah, so right now, we don't deliver the food, but we can partner with other third-party delivery services. There was a Milwaukee company that we're working with called Dityer who does third-party delivery. But if the restaurant allows for delivery, then they can enable it and they can get orders listed with delivery and address and everything.
All right. Thank you so much, Jordan, and Small Neighborhoods. Remember, if you guys have any additional questions, please follow up directly with Jordan. Let's hear it one more time for Small Neighborhood. Next up, we have Up.
Hello, everyone. It's 2021, and we live in a digital age where you can find all the answers to all of your problems. Seriously. Just Google it. You'll be able to solve 99% of all your problems. Except for one. Where are all the food trucks? Don't worry. I've developed a solution. My name is Luis, and I'm the founder and engineer. I developed Up to connect food trucks to customers instantly through marketing, online orders, and advanced analytics. The problem is simple. Discoverability is an important concern for customers wanting to find a food truck. If customers don't know where food trucks are at, food trucks can't make any money, especially right now in this pandemic. The solution is to develop a marketplace that tracks food truck locations so it can be easily discovered. I developed an MVP, and you can see here to your left, people are able to click on the food truck, and then they'll take them to their landing page where they'll be able to explore the food truck's menu and continue shopping. The size of the market in the US is over 26,000 food trucks. It's about a $1.2 billion industry. However, we're small and we just want to focus in Milwaukee, starting out, which is about 100 food trucks. However, in the grand scheme of things, this tech doesn't just apply to food trucks. It also applies to other types of storefronts, like small businesses and entrepreneurs who just want to get started selling their products. What we're looking to achieve in the first 6 months is to onboard most food trucks in Milwaukee, and in the second half, to start to expand outside of Milwaukee and other surrounding areas. The business model is pretty straightforward. We charge the customer a small transaction fee that's less than $1, and we also give them the ability to opt into extra advanced analytics and tailored social media marketing for a monthly subscription. Since our main marketing channel is going to be digital advertising, our customer acquisition rate is about $6 to $12, and through that, we'll drive sales and customers to our platform. Our expected sales is going to be about 120,000 by the end of the year if we manage to sell 100 sales per truck. And there's two major expenses here. It's mostly just infrastructure and marketing. For the infrastructure, we want to be able to have a point of sale system to integrate to our app so we can automate everything for the food truck operator. And marketing is our main marketing channel. So most of our money is going to be focused on digital advertising, content, and content materials. However, the good thing about this is that UP is founded by 3 engineers, so there's no development cost. So this makes it a great an opportunity for anyone that's looking to partner with us. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Luis. Luis, so how will your business sustain during food trucks off season?
For some reason, I'm not able to turn on my camera. Okay, what was the question again?
Yes, and we can see you. How will your business sustain during food trucks off season?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So currently, we're preparing to launch in March. So we have a very good time period from now until like winter to gain some traction. So in the beginning, we just want to focus on Milwaukee, but however, we want to really focus on states that have food trucks all year long, like California and the southern states. So we just want to be able to expand as fast as possible right now in Milwaukee when we launch in March, and then start to focus on states who have seasonal, who don't have food trucks and just seasonal and just have it all year long.
Okay. Can you take a moment and talk a little bit more about your marketing strategies?
Yeah, so demographically, we just want to focus on food trucks customers, and then our main channel is going to be social media marketing. So right now, we're talking to some food trucks who have a pretty large following on Instagram. So we want to be able to leverage their Instagram following, and as well as like the most popular food trucks in Milwaukee, and just focus on the biggest trucks, and then just use their existing customers and just onboard those trucks to be able to expand quickly.
All right, thank you. About how many food trucks are willing to commit since you are launching in March?
Yeah, so right now we're in talks with like about 10 food trucks. And so that's what we really want to focus on in March. Our initial plans were to focus on food truck festivals, but as you guys know, we're in a little bit of a pandemic. So those festivals have been postponed. However, we are in talks with 10 food trucks and they are committed to use our app.
Awesome. And then my last ask of you before we wrap, can you tell us a little bit more about your team's experience?
Yeah, so UP is funded by 3 engineers. One of our engineers is specialized in marketing. So he's worked with small businesses of all kinds of sizes in Milwaukee. So he's going to be the one who's going to be focused on doing all the social media marketing, since that's his area of expertise. And we do have another developer who is also an expert in engineering and then infrastructure side of things. So yeah, that's pretty much our team.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Luis, and giving us more insight on UP. Let's hear it one more time for UP. Next up, we have Cuddly Tales.
Hi, I'm Rashi, CEO and co-founder of Cuddly Tales. Cuddly Tales is a web platform that connects pet owners with neighbors who care. Are you a pet owner and did you ever had to cancel your vacation because you couldn't find a trusted sitter? Well, I had to. I am a pet owner myself and understand the challenges that pet owners face on a daily basis. Dogs are kept in cages for long duration of time in kennels. There is no easy way for pet owners to connect with neighbors who can care for their dog. There is a difficulty in accessing pet owners' house when services are booked online. So we introduced Cuddly Tales. It's a platform that connects neighbors with pet owners. Most of the neighbors who are sitters are connected in the same building or in the same neighborhood, so it's easy access to the buildings.
This is how our product works. Dog owners can select one of the services like dog boarding, dog sitting. They can enter details about their pet, like what kind of toys he likes, what kind of bed he likes to sleep on. Once the service is complete, the report card is submitted by the sitter to the pet owner. And the community forum where pet owners can connect with each other virtually or in person to host birthday parties, or they can discuss things like which pet food is good. In terms of market sizing, over 320 million bookings are made in the United States. We are looking at a target market of 10% of that market. In terms of business model, we charge 20% commission on any transactions that are made on our platform. So we are looking at a targeted revenue of $310 million. We are launched in New Jersey and New York City areas. We have over 200 active customers on the platform. Over $50,000 have been invested in our venture. We are looking to acquire additional customers in New Jersey and New York City areas and also expand to different regions like Wisconsin. We are looking for investment in our venture. Those funds will be used towards setting up customer support to support the existing users and new users. We will be doing a lot of focus on marketing to gain more customers, and also the iteration of the product based on the customer feedback. This is our team. I'm a graduate from Carnegie Mellon University. I have over 9 years of experience in launching multiple technology products. Rahul has an expertise in marketing. He held a marketing firm for a few years. And this is our puppy, Sammy, who is 3 years old, and our initial set of customers are his friends. Thank you for your time. Looking forward to connecting with you.
Thank you, Rashi and Cuddly Tails. So what is your customer acquisition cost?
Sure. It's around $11 to acquire a customer, and we are looking at a lifespan of a customer for around 7 to 8 years. That's the average time a customer remains on an app. So that value, the lifetime value of the customer is $900. So as compared to the acquisition cost, the lifetime value is way higher. So we believe if we acquire a customer within that value, we are able to make huge profits.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Do you plan to expand the platform into other pets such as cats and rabbits and anything else?
Yeah, sure. I mean, in terms of the expansion strategy, first we want to increase the customers in New Jersey and New York areas, then expand to other regions, including East Coast and some of the areas in the Midwest. Once we have achieved that target, which is pretty huge, just 10% of the market is around $310 million revenue market. Once we have achieved that, then we are looking to get probably cats, which is another pet, for which the services are provided, like the boarding services, not so much on walks, but that's some area we want to expand probably later in the future.
Thank you. How do you plan on ensuring the safety of the pets?
That's a very good question. So when we onboard any sitter on our platform, there is a 3-step process to onboard a sitter to make sure that the pet is really safe. So we do an initial assessment of any pet sitters. We have a questionnaire, over 20 to 50 questions, to make sure they have enough experience handling the pets, and also the background knowledge to make sure that the pets are safe. We also do a background check with the third-party vendor that's evident. So that is integrated into our system. So they do an identification check, address validation, making sure there's no criminal record of the pet sitter. Once that check is complete, we also check the social profiles of the person to make sure he's actually a person that he's saying and is based in the same neighborhood. So once all those steps are completed, then a sitter is basically approved to provide services. And while providing the services, we also do a quality check, meaning while they're doing the services, we call them, we want to make sure that the pet is safe. We have the additional insurance in case something happens that covers, some part of the pet owner's responsibility and pet sitter.
Awesome. Thank you, Rashi. And then my last question is, what makes you different from the competitors?
Yes, definitely. So there are some competitors in the market like Rover and Wag. it's a very fragmented industry. There are so many traditional dog boarding centers, but even the major players, they haven't acquired more than 10 to 11% of the market share. So we still believe that there is a huge market that's open. In terms of competition, these services provided by Rover and Wag and some of the other online platforms, they connect like pet sitters with the pet owners, not based on geography. Our niche is basically providing this service within the same building or in the same neighborhood. That way, even from COVID perspective, we are making sure that you don't have strangers coming into your house. You probably know the person or you have crossed paths with that person already. So there is a little bit more trust built into, while taking care of your fur baby.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rashi and Cuddly Tails. Let's hear it one more time for Cuddly Tails. Next up, we have the Pink Hustle.
Hi, my name is Shakia Curtis. I'm the owner of The Pink Hustle. We're a personal and professional development agency, and we like to say it's not just a hustle, but it is a lifestyle. I want to share a story with you, a story of purpose, passion, and frustration. Imagine being told to do what you needed to do to complete the American dream, yet to find yourself still frustrated, to go to school and get the college degree, to go and find the job that matches that college degree, yet to wake up every single day and still feel like you're not living in purpose, to still feel like you're not living in your passion, to still live in frustration. See, I know that story all too well because I was that girl. I woke up every day after being told what I needed to do to follow and gain the American dream, yet to still be frustrated. The Pink Hustle was born to help women live at the next level of their lives. See, at our agency, we're a space created for all things female. We make sure that the growth and development and wealth opportunities are there for them. We're a personal and professional development agency that specializes in helping professional women gain financial freedom while going after their passion. The target market is millennial women, college graduates between the ages of 30 and 45, income of 40,000 plus. What we're looking to do is help millennium females generate more time and opportunity to build more income and financial freedom, to get out of that pain of living in frustration, to get out of the pain of feeling trapped, overwhelmed, unhappy, and strapped down with anxiety. See, our solution is to help millennium females create routines and strategies that will not only allow for them to have more time to build wealth and pursue passions, but to provide resources and tools that will allow them to live at the next level in their lives with passion, with purpose, and with financial freedom. We've had tons of current success. We just graduated our first cohort. We're starting on our second one, March 1st. We're one-on-one consultations, workshops, and we're even doing curriculum development. That will continue on throughout this year, and our hopes is to gain more than 20 one-on-one clients and more than 2 more cohorts within the year. We're looking to upgrade and scale that by the end of the year with more development plans. What I'm asking you for is just to jump on board, to help us pursue that purpose and that passion to help women live at the next level of their lives. We're looking for mentorship. We're looking for resources and partnerships. We're also looking for space. Again, it's not just a hustle, but it's the lifestyle. Will you help? Will you jump on board? Will you help that woman live at the next level of her life? Thank you. Again, my name is Shakia Curtis, and this is The Pink Hustle.
All right, thank you, Ms. Shakia and the Pink Hustle. So Shakia, can you elaborate on your revenue model just a little bit more?
So there is 2 different, can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. So we have 2 different types. One of the revenue models is membership based. So you can sign up and be a part of our monthly membership, which allows you to be a part of 3 different things. And then we also do the one-on-one consultation. So it's services, and then it is membership based.
All right, awesome, thank you. What makes you different from your competitors?
1, experience. 2, my education. So my doctoral is African-American women in entrepreneurship. My master's is in organization development, and I lived that lifestyle every single day.
Thank you, Shakia. And then how do you measure success within your cohort?
So depending on what the needs are for each individual, we scale that based off of what they need. Every woman needs something different, whether it's creating strategic tools for time or whether it is making planning for how to make extra income. So based off of what that woman needs, that is how we determine her success.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. And then how are you supporting clients during COVID?
So honestly, that has been something amazing. We've had to become very creative, and we're also doing a holistic approach. So we're just taking it, we're doing the mental, the health, and the wealth. The health wasn't a part of it, and we had to add that because when you are stuck not only in frustration, but then you have to deal with the pandemic, we had to come up with other things. So we're taking a holistic approach and making sure we're also tapping in things that include more than just the revenue focus, but building them in a health way, focusing on that mental capacity, and then just doing our regular strategic planning.
Yes. Yes, I think that's so necessary.
Yes.
Shakia, do you offer networking opportunities for your clients?
We do. We also have a group. It is called the Pink Hustle Circle. So it is a networking, but and that's more so in the membership base. When you become a part of that group, you have that weekly connection. Right now it's just online, but we do the virtual connection. We do partner with other organizations, virtual events. So yes, check it out, thepinkhustle.com. We have so much more information on there.
Yes. And then my last question, Shakia, before we let you go, what is your MRR?
Right now, with our MRR, we are focusing on referral base. We're focusing on marketing through our social media and again, partnering with our organizations.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Let's hear it one more time for the Pink Hustle. Next up, we have Live Vend.
Hello, everyone. My name is John Oamen, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Live Vend, where we drive efficiency in construction with the use of technology. Now, the construction industry is plagued with a lot of issues, including delays, unhealthy collaboration. And basically what that means is that construction projects are a lot more expensive than they should be. And as such, people can do less projects than they should be able to. We have data that shows that typical construction projects run as high as 50% above their budget, a whole 50%, in fact, even up to 70% in some cases. Now, to give you some context, this is a $6.8 billion industry as at 2019, and those results grew in 2020, though not totally collated till date. Now, what we did is that we did our research and we found out why are the tools that have been built for construction processes typically failed? And we realized some of our local contextual issues that have been the reason. And this we took on board, building a product that will serve the African market, starting with our country, Nigeria. And basically, this is already, to some degree, solving some of the institutional voids, including the lack of data and inability of construction majors to be able to collaborate to achieve successful projects. The last year has been very interesting. We've hit a couple of milestones, including the fact that one of our clients was able to save a whopping $6,000 in one day on his construction project. We've also had, a better flow of construction information in the country, and we've got a lot of recognition for it, including being in some of the biggest media houses in Nigeria to date. Our team is a mixture of a couple of people who bring about 50 years of construction or related experience to the table. And we also have a corporate governance team in our advisory board, looking over us, making sure that we toe the right path, including people like Katia Sheila, who is a senior program officer in the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation back in Nigeria. We're excited to be here today to be pitching to you, and we look to get a lot of support from you, including mentorship, relevant experience, and of course, some cash. I always like to say that innovation is upon us in the world at large, and we must keep working to ensure that we are rewriting our African story with every single code every single app. And that's the biggest reason why we wake up every day. If you come on board with us, you're definitely going to be proud in years to come. Feel free to contact me, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to take them right now, and of course, off camera at the right time. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and I look forward to engaging with you.
All right. Thank you so much, John. Again, it was very exciting to hear more about LiveVend. Can you talk about your value proposition?
Typical construction projects currently are managed a lot more traditionally. The industry has suffered a lot of traditional methods. Recently, we were on a project where, some things were missing, items were missing on a construction project, and we're torn between if it was fraud or if it was missing. And, people were trying to go through manual paper documents to find out what has happened. One of the things we have introduced is cloud-based data storage, and it makes it easy for you to sort through data, get relevant info, and opportunity to focus on what they're called for. We deal with that.
Who are your competitors?
All right. Thank you, John. Thank you. Thank you so much. Who are your competitors?
I think back home in Africa, our biggest competitor is really the traditional way of doing things. We have a few other competitors who have just started I think they're basically towing our line, but importantly, because we have relevant experience, most of the apps and the solutions we're building as solutions to problems I personally faced in my decade of construction experience. So we look forward to be enjoying the first movers advantage.
Thank you, John. And really quickly, I want to give a shout out to you all the way in Nigeria, being a part of the Blueprint. So a real quick shout out to Nigeria in this moment. But one more question for you. Outsourcing parts of the construction process can jeopardize the quality of the project. How do you ensure clients' quality?
So what we're focusing on right now is what we call project monitoring, and that is actually giving our clients access to real-time information on what is going on. We're not necessarily getting into outsourcing. We're mostly providing relevant data for them to make quick decisions. A lot of construction projects suffer because there's a gap between the boardroom where these deals are structured and the construction sites where they actually take place. And so a lot of times before information moves from point to point, a lot of damage is done, costing lots of dollars. And so what we're basically doing is that when can flow faster, helping the construction managers make good decisions and timely.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone who've asked questions already. Remember, you can chat the participants directly if you have any additional questions. Let's hear one more time for John and LiveVend. Next up, we have Tip a Script.
Hi, I'm Chad Johnson, the founder of Tip a Script. Well, nearly half of Americans over the age of 12 take some form of prescription medication. And ultimately, prescription medications have increased well beyond affordability. 1 in 5 adults, that's 58 million people, state that they have difficulty paying for their prescription medication. So that means that there's at least one person in our circle that may be struggling to pay for their medication. They're staying ill and possibly can even die just because they can't afford to pay. Well, that's where something like Tip a Script comes in. If you could do something to help somebody that you knew was struggling to pay, would you offer that assistance? And that's what Tip a Script wants to provide. Many people use insurance or pharmacy rebates, maybe even health savings accounts, but what about that last dollar payment, that out-of-pocket expense? That's where Tip a Script offers a solution where loved ones and even healthcare providers could provide funds to someone and leverage a system and a platform like a Cash App or a Venmo in order for that person to receive those funds. The difference about TipaScript is that funds in a TipaScript account are only eligible to be spent at a pharmacy, in person or online, just for prescription medication, medical equipment, and medical supplies. How it works, similar to Cash App and Venmo, you'd have an app where funds would be able to be sent from one person to another. The person would be able to open up their app and look at their transactions as well as their balances. And they also would be issued a debit card that would be attached to their account in order for them to make their purchases in person or online, just as they would with a credit or debit card they already have. Our business model is such as where those funds that are sitting on TipaScript accounts are only able to be spent at a pharmacy, and TipaScript would collect a transaction fee as well as interchange percentages would be collected through some of the payment processors that we would have incentives with. Currently, the market, 1 in 5 people that state that they have difficulty paying for their prescription medications is 58 million people. Average out-of-pocket expense is $1,200 annually, which comes to $69 billion as our total addressable market. That's only 20% of the prescription medication industry that we're after. The team currently consists of myself as the CEO and founder. I have Steve Balistrieri, who's actually acting as a fractional CTO, representing Band of Coders, assisting me with software and app development. Traction until this point, I've completed the previous Blueprint Accelerator. I placed second in the Summerfest Tech Pitch Competition last year, and we're currently launching a pilot with a soon-to-be-announced healthcare provider where we will be issuing debit cards, and the healthcare provider will be offering a minimum of $50 in prescription payment assistance. TipaScript will match that prescription payment assistance up to $50 a month for 3 months for us to collect data and see what the patient preferences are and if it increases medication adherence. So thank you for this opportunity to pitch, and I look forward to answering any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chad and TipaScript. So how do you make money?
Yeah, so as mentioned, thank you again for the opportunity. There's several revenue streams for us. So one, there's interchange. So interchange fees are collected from every transaction that's made. So that's a direct relationship with the credit card processing service that we'd have a partnership with, as well as the bank. There's also incentives. So if we'd be using MasterCard for our debit cards, there's also incentives on top of those interchange fees that we collect. And all of that comes just by transactions being made. On top of that, as we increase the volume, there will be transaction fees, a nominal fee around 3.5% charged to pharmacies, using TipaScript more as a loyalty discount program to really drive traffic for people to fill their prescriptions. And then further down the roadmap, there is, of course, ad revenue based on the volume that we have, where pharmaceutical companies, pharmacies can really help to drive traffic using the TipaScript platform.
All right, thank you, thank you. Do funds ever expire?
No. So, one of the things that we've talked about is it's been very difficult to aggregate funds when people have been looking at, giving prescription payment assistance. So foundations, pharmaceutical companies. But say in this case, let's say, someone, has an untimely passing. One of the things that would be built into TipaScript is that we'd be able to put that within the general pool of funds to assist someone who may not have, a pharmacy or a pharmaceutical company or family members contributing, where we would be able to still, kind of really back up our own mission to support individuals in making sure that they have funds available to assist them in paying for their medications.
Right. Thank you, Chad. And I have to read this statement in its entirety. This is great. How is need assessed?
Indeed. So our target market, just candidly, is individuals who face out-of-pocket expenses of $100 or more. So this is really targeting the underinsured population. So, uninsured have tons of services. If you're, 200% below the federal poverty level with income, there's tons of resources available to you where you're paying, less than $10 out of pocket each month, which may still be a struggle for some. But we're talking about those individuals who are facing $100, $400, $500, sometimes $1,200 or more out of pocket each month. And they're in what we call the donut hole. You have to pay $5,000 and more out of pocket before your insurance kicks in, or your insurance doesn't cover that medication and you've got a chronic illness. So identifying need, there's need across the board, but truly those people who are facing $100 or more out of pocket each month in that donut hole, and underinsured is our target audience.
Absolutely. Thank you. Is it feasible to use HSA funds for gifting?
That's something that we'd have to get regulatory approval for. So technically, we're operating as a pseudo health savings account, but we're not classified as one. But that was one use case that individuals talked about. If someone wanted to contribute their health savings funds or even their flexible spending account dollars that are going to expire at the end of the year and give it to their mother, as an example, we'd have to get approval federally to ensure that they adopt TipaScript as one of those sources that you could contribute to. So that's going to take a bit more, time during the roadmap and regulation to get that approval. But that definitely is a part of the roadmap that we do desire to have as a feature.
Awesome. Thank you. And then what's the appropriate amount to put on a debit card?
Again, appropriate is going to be based on the individual's needs. So as an example, my mother, she was forced to apply for Medicare. Her out-of-pocket expenses skyrocketed from less than $20 a month to over $400 a month. And so my brothers and I, it's three of us, we want to take care of that $400 to say my mother shouldn't have to decide between expenses and meds. Somebody else may only have $200 a month. So it's going to be based on the need of the individual. But again, that baseline, even the total addressable market of $1,200 out of pocket, again, we're looking at $100 out of pocket each month or more is what we're targeting. But we're putting the onus on pharmaceutical companies who've got foundations, healthcare providers that have compassion programs for prescription payment assistance, even employers who want to contribute to funds. It's all going to be based on the need of the individual.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Chad and TipaScript. Let's hear it one more time for TipaScript.
Appreciate it.
Wow, we really just got through 12 pitches and it doesn't even seem like it, right? Really quickly, everyone who's watching, drop it in the chat. What's one word to describe how you feel right now after listening to these 12 amazing businesses? Let's see what you guys have. One word to describe. Empowered, excited. Yes, inspired, hopeful. Yes, inspired again. That's awesome. A lot of positive and uplifting words, and that's what we hoped for. As mentioned, hungry from the food trucks, agreed, proud. And that's from Samitra, the lead teacher. So that says a lot. As I mentioned, you guys have all the participants' contact information. So if you still have questions that are lingering or you didn't get a chance to ask a question, please, please, please follow up with all the participants so that you can get more. So can we share opportunities to help fund companies? Yes, please drop them in the chat. Amazed. Yes. Okay, this is really awesome stuff happening in the chat right now. We'll be sure to respond, but for the sake of time, we want to keep the program moving forward. And I would like to introduce you all to one of our biggest supporters from Five Lakes Institute. She's an amazing woman and she's here to share a word. Let's hear it one time for Kathleen Gallagher.
Hi, I'm Kathleen Gallagher. I'm Executive Director of Five Lakes Institute. I'm also a columnist for the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, and I am host of a radio segment / podcast on WWM called How Did You Do That? I am thrilled to be here to just say a few words. Congratulations first to all of the startups who got through the blueprint. It's a rigorous program and you should feel very proud that you got through it all while I'm sure doing lots of other things. We are so encouraged that you are building the startups you're building and even more that you're building the community that you're building and the ecosystem that you're building. It's very important to recognize that this can't be the work of just a few people. It takes a whole ecosystem to build what the blueprint is trying to build. And we believe that you are on the path to being part of a very strong ecosystem with robust outcomes for the startups. So just keep plugging away at it and building that community that you're building, leveraging your skills, exercising your talents, expanding your network, cultivating this wonderful startup business-oriented environment that you're building. We're so proud that you're part of it and that you've come as far as you've come. Congratulations.
Hello, my name is Q Elamine, the co-founder of Young Enterprise Society. I would like to thank all of the supporters, the sponsors, and most importantly, the startups for being a part today. Today, we oftentimes in our STEAM program, we talk about the top 10 tips to get them through their teenage and early 20s. And so me being the elder statesman in our group, wanted to talk about the 10 tips that will get these startups through their mid 20s to early 30s. So the first one is love yourself like Kanye loves himself. First, you have to have really, really great self-esteem. You have to believe in what you're doing, even if no one else believes in it. Second, stay in love. And when we say stay in love, that may be a person, that may be to your business, but you have to remember that times will get hard, but when those times get hard, you have to persevere. Number three, the past determines the future. And when we say this, every day you're making your past. So you have to build good habits now that once you go past this, they become what determines things you're going to do in the future. So build good habits now, and that will lead you to the future. The fourth thing, leave room for change. Throughout this journey, you're going to have to pivot. Empower, where we're at now, they actually came into the program with a totally different idea. One of the startup members jumped from one team to another, and that was all good because that made for a great team and a great business. So leave room for change. The next, bad relationships last longer than good relationships. I think we all can think of that person right now who owes us some money or who was rude to us. And those things stick in your head even longer than good relationships. So make sure every interaction that you're having with anybody is a good one. 6, rappers invented the cloud, so don't forget to read the ingredients. Don't just go what people are thinking, what people are saying. Don't believe in groupthink. Make sure that you're thinking for yourself and that you're doing your own research into gathering your own ideas. Number 7, communication is key. It's almost self-explanatory, but if you have to, sometimes it's better to over-communicate than to under-communicate. Number 8, travel and see the world. I know it's COVID right now, but you also can always jump in your car, drive, see a new place, see a new environment, because it always expands your mind. Number 9, time is worth a lot more than money. So where you invest your time, who you talk to, who do you spend your time with is worth way more. I've made a lot of money, I've lost a lot of money, but I've never been able to make any more time. So just keep that in the back of your mind. And then number 10, you are free. You can really do anything you want to in life. You can live anywhere, you can learn anything. You are a free person, so take advantage of that. So as we wrap up, in the words of John Jenkins, the world is yours and everything in it. It's out there, get on your grind and get it. Thank you all for joining us today. Be great and be blessed.